Let's go. Let's go. We're back in the building with another episode of the War Report. Sitting to the side of me, I got my friend and my brother, Sergeant Nicholas Irving. Nick, what up, bro?
What's going on? What's going on? Glad to be back. Always.
Absolutely. Glad to have you back in the building and looking forward to receiving what you got to say once again.
I appreciate it.
Nick, you know, I want to take a little detour from what we normally do. I got a disturbing call from you the other day, and it really got me to thinking about why we do what we do. In a lot of ways, yes, this is entertainment and it's informative, but I tell you all the time, you're living your purpose. You're here for a greater good. And I want to use this episode to really zone in on the price that is paid by the individuals that are deployed, the individuals that are engaged in active combat, not only when they're overseas, but when they come home. So you cool with that?
Oh yeah, 100%.
You know, just to bring our audience into this, and we can talk about it a little later and then more in depth, you had another brother that you lost this week.
Yes, sir. Atterbury. Yeah. Guy who brought me in the sniper section. The guy who brought me in the sniper section, trained me up before sniper school, taught me how to pretty much perfect my ghillie suit, stalking skills, how to shoot, hot wire cars, all that.
What was the manner of death?
Suicide.
Wow.
But that was the most recent one. But I get these phone calls. It feels like, I got out, stopped contracting around 2012, and I've been getting these phone calls, well, pretty much since 2010, once a year, pretty much like once a year. Those 2 a.m. phone calls, midnight phone calls, 3 a.m. phone calls, at least one a year. Feels like one a year.
You know, before we talk about your brother who just took his life, I want to go back because you're on this platform week over week, and I'm sure many people are familiar with your story, but I want to go just a little bit more in depth about you and how you got here. And then we'll pick it up to talk about some of your brothers. Is that okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, for anybody who's not familiar, how old were you when you enlisted in the service?
17. My mom had to sign a contract with my dad to even enlist in that age. I had to be the requirement's 18. Not just requirement, but you don't need legal guardianship, their permission to sign you over. And my mom was hesitant of it. I had been talked about it since I was in elementary school. I wanted to be a sniper in spec ops. You know, my dad was in the Army, my mom was in the Army. That's pretty much all I knew. I knew college wasn't for me. And just where I grew up at, the military was my only way out. And 17 when I signed up, my mom didn't want to. I'll never forget the day sitting at the dinner table, my mom crying, my dad being a man at the head of the table. And he was like, he's going to do whatever he wants to do anyways when he's 18. It doesn't matter. And she was it took her a few minutes. It felt like an eternity for her to sign that contract with the recruiter sitting on the other side of the table. But I was 17 when I went in. Before that, I was 15 when I did the whole Navy SEAL, Sea Cadet Corps. I was in the Sea Cadets in Annapolis. I went through the Baby SEAL program. You got to pass the actual Navy SEAL PT test. And we went through a simulated Hell Week and scuba qualified, 15. I was already passing the Navy SEAL physical fitness test at 15. So it was my parents already knew that's where I was going. I didn't go
Before-
SEALs,
and-
I went Army, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and for anybody who doesn't know, you went on to, not just to join the Army, but become an Army Ranger.
Yes, sir.
And again, I'm just trying to get a better understanding of Nicholas Irving before you went into the service. Any history with drugs or alcohol?
No. I mean, I snuck a few, going down to where my mom's side of the family's at in Georgia, and like Thanksgiving, Christmas, mainly like Thanksgiving and stuff like that. I might have smoked on a little something, herbal essence prior to it, but my parents didn't know, and I would sneak behind the shed where my dad had built this shed. I don't think he knows this yet. He's about to find out. But I used to take a little, puffs off something, and I was, I knew a couple of guys who sold stuff, and, yeah.
But nothing where you would say I went in with a problem. You're just your average, ordinary teenager.
Yeah, your ordinary teenager from, urban environment. I was no like upper class. We struggled, less than 1,000 square foot home with 4 of us. And then sometimes it was 5 of us with, a few hundred square foot, home. 5 of us living there, 2 sisters, my mom, my dad, and me. But we were, far beyond being well off, far beyond that. Like my dad, we struggled. My dad was a security guard at one point. My mom was a janitor. I'm getting roasted, at school, got a fight. My dad was a security guard at one point, worked at UPS at one point. My mom was flipping hamburgers at one point, before my dad went in. He worked as a dispatch in like the police department and went on to do stuff contracting with the government, with Intel. And my mom was like she did her thing at Walter Reed Hospital for a little bit.
In terms of your siblings, did any of your sisters go in? And for that matter, where do you fall into, are you the oldest, the youngest, are you the middle?
I would say I'm the middle. Like I just found out recently, within the past couple years, I had like another sister. So I have 3 sisters and a brother. I'm not going to speak too much on their lifestyle, but my brother's been in jail and locked up, but good guy now, great guy, a family man, a man. My sisters are, they've done their thing, but no, my sister, the one that I grew up with like since day one, Jasmine. And she watches all these videos, but yeah, she's like the only one I grew up with, and she didn't join the military. She just recently texted me, like I would say 2 weeks ago, asking if she should join, and I'm like, hell no. Just recently, because they had up the age limit to like 42, and she's still in her 30s, and I'm telling her no. So yeah, she does her thing. She's I got a niece. I got a couple nieces, but like my immediate niece, I got that. She's a blessing. My sister's a blessing. She's doing her thing, living independently. So yeah.
What year did you go in, and how many years did you serve?
I went in 2004 and got out in 2010 and contracted for 2 years after that. Which is,
So roughly,
yeah. What's that?
That's about 8 years.
Yes, sir.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, I was not about to retire. Ain't no way I was doing 20 years. No. I got tired of waking up at 4 a.m. No.
This is where your life changes.
Oh, yeah.
You're a normal, average, ordinary kid next door. You knew something that most people live their whole life and they never discover. You found out when you were a child, I wanted to be part of the military.
Oh,
There,
yeah.
there are people now in their 50s, 60s, and if you ask them, what is it that you truly have a passion for? What is it that you really want to do with their life? They can't tell you, but you knew it early on.
I knew what I wanted to do. I think everybody understands, and I think if everybody looked deep down inside, they would know what they want to do in life. And I think my opinion is just to live life, to be you. I don't think that we're meant to be born here to work a 9 to 5 or have an occupation per se. I think that life is more to it than that. I think it's about living life, enjoying life, experiencing life, friends, family. Then you die with all these good memories. No one wakes up on their deathbed and be like, oh shit, I'm not going to be able to make it to work tomorrow. Or I wish I had one more hour of work underneath my belt, or got this advancement and got this much pay. No one does that on their deathbed. I don't think that's the purpose of life. I knew what I wanted to do as a chapter in my life. Yeah, I knew that. But I think, I knew what I wanted to do as an occupation for a chapter in my life. And we all have chapters.
Yes, we do. And, I can tell you there are so many people, whether they are not brave enough to admit that this is what I want to do, or maybe they just have never given it real thought. Mm-hmm. There's so many people who are not living their purpose. There's so many people who, they're doing what they do. But if you ask them truly in their heart, is this what you want to do? Is this what you were put on this earth to do? They couldn't tell you. Or they would just absolutely say no.
Yeah.
But I wanted to establish the foundation of you, because within those years, your whole life as you knew it, being a normal, regular, law-abiding citizen, teenager, it changes.
Yeah.
You go into the service is something you always wanted to do. And sometimes you got to be careful what you ask for.
That's one of my, I live by that. Beware what you wish for. I live by that. I live by it. And I've learned that, that's one of the, if I were to say top 3 lessons I've learned in life, that's up there. It ain't the number 1, but it's up there as far as beware what you wish for. I've wished and hoped for a whole bunch of stuff. And thankfully, or whatever, I've obtained those things. But when I got there, it was never what I expected. And that's from being in the military to having, a career in Hollywood. I mean, I'm filming a TV show right now. I got some other stuff going on with Hollywood and, New York Times bestseller to, all the accolades that come with it and what comes with it. I done had, But when I got there, it's I don't know. It's never what the dream in my mind was. And that goes with the military too. I was so caught up on what I saw on the commercials and on TV and the movies. Then you get there and it's it's not really what you thought it would be. War kind of was, but then the stuff that came along with it, they don't ever show that part. That was something I had to find out on my own. But yeah, beware what you wish for. That goes with everything.
It does. It absolutely does. How many confirmed kills?
In one deployment was 33. And prior to that, there was only one deployment. I didn't shoot anybody, out of the 6. But 5 out of those 5 deployments, it was as a machine gunner, an assaulter, designated marksman, machine gun team leader, sniper. I don't know how many total out of all those deployments, but I know on one, and I was keeping track, was 33. Unconfirmed was about half of that as far as shooting people, but you didn't have the pictures or going to another objective. You don't have time to confirm anything. Someone saw it. You saw a body drop.
So now bring me to post your military stint. You do all of these things on paper, they sound great.
Yeah.
6 deployments, 33 confirmed kills, maybe half of that unconfirmed, sniper, ranger. On paper, you're a badass. You're that guy.
On paper, yeah.
You come home, what does the world look like to you?
Man, coming home was like, I'll tell you what, after my last deployment, we go back, like during my last deployment, when I lost, I know I keep bringing his name up, but hey, it is what it is. But when I lost Cop, during that whole 5-day operation, I remember coming back when we got word that Cop had died. I had to tell my family prior to that, hey, I'm not going to be able to call for a little bit, X, Y, and Z. I was stealing like this FBI. I wasn't stealing it. He was letting me use his satellite phone because the phones we use are all tapped. Like someone's always listening in, making sure you don't say stuff. So I had used the FBI hostage rescue team guy, his satellite phone to call home. And I remember like being by a generator behind my building, the room I was staying in, and I was waiting for this F-16 plane to take off, put on the afterburners. And I would use that time when I call home to my dad just so I could cry because I was hurt. And then when I got home, my whole thing, like my tradition for me was like going to Walmart after every deployment. My wife would come pick me up. She's smelling good, looking good. I had this whole image in my head what I was going to do when I got back, never played out that way. It's just like a what's up, give her a hug, clean my guns, turn my guns in. We come home, go to Walmart. I liked Walmart for some odd reason. One, because I wasn't making that much money. I couldn't go nowhere else. I couldn't go to like no fancy restaurant, but I liked the colors. Like overseas, it's no color. Everything's just like a desert, gray, tan. Everything's covered in dirt. There's no colors like that. And 98% of my missions were at nighttime anyways. I'm looking through a green night vision goggles. So I would go to Walmart because of all the colors and stuff like that. Get a 6-pack. Nah, it was more than that. I would already have a 6-pack, back at base, maybe more. Get a case of beer, some Jack, drink that, finish that. And she would make some Mexican food for me. She's Mexican. So eat that and rack out or go to my car, turn the car on, go to the parking lot outside of at our apartment, call my family back at home and just cry on the phone and act like I would tell her, hey, I'm going to the gas station real quick. But I would really be in my car crying, calling my folks and mainly my dad. My mom, I didn't want her to hear me cry like that. So I called my dad because he was just a tough dude. And he would just sit on the phone with me while I cried. Clear up, come back inside, tell her I went to the gas station, but yeah. And then after some deployments, I would just get wasted. We would sit inside the compound behind this brown fence, a security fence. Nobody could, your average person, your regular Army people can't come on to our compound unless you got a secret clearance, and they would lock the gates and the guys who stayed on base in our compound, we would get wasted. I remember an 18-wheeler truck at one point with kegs of beer on the back. We would drink. I seen one dude, I ain't gonna say his name, his initials, one of my machine gunners, we had filled up this, a cooler full of beer. He's a strong dude, 6 foot something, benched the whole world. He's a strong dude. He picked it up and he's drinking out this cooler, chugging beer. And we would get wasted, way more alcohol than your average person should be able to consume. And we're 17, 18, 18, 19, 21, 20, years old. Some not even old enough to drink, but we were getting kegs and kegs and kegs. And we would drink all weekend. And that was the tradition. Wash the pain away.
You said a couple of things that stood out for me. Number one, you would jump on the phone with your dad and just cry.
Yeah.
do you remember what you're crying about? And if you can explain to the audience, and the reason I kind of walked us into pre-military and what life looked like for you. I mean, you're from a 2-family household. You guys were far from rich, but you were rich in terms of family.
Big time.
You go overseas, you serve and you give everything but your life to this country, and you come home and there's no fanfare. There's no parade. There's no money in the bank. There's no, what does that trauma look like? What were you actually crying for?
Everything, the stress, being happy to be home, and like the guys that we lost. And I mean, we're doing 120 missions in like 90 days. We're doing 2 ops a day, 3 ops a day, sometimes more. But we're, banging out these operations, and like you see you see a lot of stuff. My first deployment, I saw stupid stuff. I mean, things that like didn't make sense to me, from people being flattened by vehicles to people being charred from missile strikes, from a dad like holding his son as a form of security, like, you're not finna shoot me, and a sniper takes him out and he falls over this balcony right in like a couple of feet in front of me. To seeing people like, I've seen a lot. My first deployment, I've seen so many people with their head shot, and like the different things that the head does, from an eye just popping out, to a head looking like a deflated like basketball, to a head swelling up, to seen a whole bunch of stuff. People's limbs blown off, people's intestines coming out, people's stuff with IEDs, dog stuff with IEDs. I've seen a lot of stupid stuff. And that's like one deployment. Then there's other deployments that were just like, you see other crazy stuff, things you thought you would never see, as far as death and trauma. And then like you come home and it's like a release. Some guys go to the strip club and, and go to the bar. I did like once. And for me, it was just, I didn't like being around people, because no one knows what you've been through. So I try to stay away from stuff like that, because naturally you're a hothead at that moment. Like 24 hours ago, you were just shooting people, and you want to send me, or not send me, but to go out to a bar, strip club or something, somebody look at you the wrong way. It could be bad.
Yeah, I need our audience to understand, because you guys are coming home and it's sheer violence.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, just listening to you just now, it's one thing to see some of that, in your lifetime. But you said that was just my first deployment.
Yeah, you can see a lot of stuff. And I sent you that document, or the webpage, the website of like, and Rangers hold the most,
Yes.
Yeah, captured and killed enemy than any other special operations unit, conventional or special operations, in the entire military. Killed and captured more high value targets than anyone combined. And in one deployment, 1,700, 1,900 people dead. You can kill 1,000 people in 3 months with a small group of men. And you're there for it. A lot of it's dropping bombs and shooting people and all this and that, but you see everything. You see a lot of stuff in a very short amount of time, because you're always out. For me, I didn't have dead. I had one dead deployment, and the dead deployment is working with, SEAL Team 6 doing hostage rescue stuff in Afghanistan. But other than that, especially like Iraq in the early years, it was mayhem. You see a lot of death and destruction and just like weird, crooked stuff, things you can't dream of, things you can't make up in your mind. And when you see it, it's kind of hard to process at that moment. you're doing a mission, you're doing a job, you're not really focused on that. But when you get back to your room or you get back stateside and like your wife doesn't know like what you've been through and you're trying to like keep this persona about you as a husband, as a loving person. Like she didn't know about none of this stuff until I was getting out. She had no idea. Every deployment, I'm like, oh, I'm chilling. I would come back jacked because I'm taking all types of supplements and stuff like that and lifting weights. And she'd be like, oh, wow, you got bigger. Paul, not even Paul's, but yeah, you got bigger. And I was like, yeah, we just lifting weights. She didn't know about, you know, all that stuff, the award ceremonies when we would come back. She sat through one of them, and that's where I think it like kind of clicked for her. But as far as like the sheer amount of violence, she didn't find out till way later. I never talked about it. I didn't talk about it to my family. I would just call home and cry to my dad. He would just say, let it out. He said, I don't know what to say, but I'll sit here with you. And I just cried.
You know, I don't think I ever asked you this before. You come home, what are you qualified to do? You're a trained killer. You are literally a trained killer. Mm-hmm. You do demolition. Mm-hmm. You take life. Mm-hmm. Yes, you're doing it for your country, but when you guys hit that tarmac, you get your release papers, you come back into society, are any of those skills transferable? No. What do you put on your resume? What are you actually qualified to do?
I did that. I put all my stuff on my resume, you know, in charge of all this and that, did this, put all my qualifications on. And like the only thing I was qualified to do was contract and go back overseas to Iraq. That was it. Like I couldn't, at the time, like being a cop was even like, not sketchy, but it was maybe like a liability. I know a few guys who try to apply for the police department, and like something about that psychological evaluation, I don't know what it was, but it was just the same rules back then didn't apply. And you're more prone to getting in a stressful, you might get shot coming back from overseas. And like, I mean, a few guys did make it, you know, through the police academy, but that's also something I didn't want to do. I think your best option, or like the most qualified job you can hold, is probably being a cop, you know? And I just really wasn't feeling that. I was done wearing a uniform for all these years and not being able to wear civilian clothes. And I couldn't be a cop, no. You don't really have any qualifications for anything. I mean, you could be a Walmart door greeter. Shout out to them. Nothing against it, and nothing's beneath me, but I just couldn't do that job. There's not much you're like really qualified for. Can't work at a bank unless you're like a security guard, maybe. I don't know. Use your GI Bill, go to school, but I didn't want to do that either. No.
You know, it's interesting that you bring up a cop, because as qualified as you are, I would think most people in your position who are suffering from the types of trauma that you might be going through in terms of what you've done, the memories you have, mm-hmm. You know, your natural instinct and impulses in high stress situations, it would be very difficult for you guys to make it through the psych evaluations for jobs like that.
Yeah, I would think so too. Yeah. And I just think that, like, being a cop, there has to be a level of, I want to say like, not like humanity, but for us, everybody's a threat. Everybody's a potential threat, you know? And I know in my mindset back then, there's no way I could have been a cop. And of course, like now, like I don't have any desire to even want to be a police officer, nothing like that. But back then, I know I couldn't have been a cop. Everything's a threat. Everything would have been a threat. And it's not because I'm scared of whatever. It's just the way I was trained up. Like de-escalation is not really in my job description. No, de-escalation was not in my job description at all. Why the fuck am I trying to de-escalate something? You're a threat. I'm gonna take care of that threat the best way we know how.
Wow. Wow. How bad did the drinking get?
God. Like, I didn't start drinking until I was in airborne school, learning how to jump out of planes, and somebody gave me like a Heineken, and it tasted like ass. I had snuck my granddad's drinks a few times, and I hated it, but somebody gave me a beer in airborne school, and I hated it, but I drank it, and that's like where the habit, I guess, kind of formed. And then after my first deployment, that's all we did was drink. And then we would have like, you know, events and stuff like that. But it got real bad after my first deployment. Bad as in like a 6-pack during lunch break was not a big deal. You could still run 6 miles. You could still run 8 miles or road march 15 miles. You could still jump out of a plane. You could do all your whole job. You could still wire up a C4 charge, a door breaching charge. You can still do all that. But after my last deployment, or during the transition between my 5th deployment to the 6th deployment, I think is when it got like crazy. When I became a sniper is when it got real bad. And I was just like consuming anywhere. I mean, rest in peace, Honorable Santiago, who I also have tattooed on me. I looked at him as like a dad figure in sniper section. We had a sniper party at one point before my last deployment. My wife came and he pulled her off to the side and he's like, hey, he needs help. He has to get help. Because I was drinking just straight liquor and then, 12-pack, 20 beers. I was good. And I'm drinking not no shooters of Jack Daniels, bottles of Jack Daniels. And he said, this is a problem. He needs help. And that was his last and he gave me a hug after he talked to my wife and was like, dude, get help. You're gonna die. And literally not even a year after that, he died. That was the last words I heard from him. And he loved me. He died after that. So it was that bad. I had a crazy drinking problem. And when I got out, it got worse. It got real bad.
And that's where I wanted to go with this conversation, because you just don't turn it off. You don't have a problem where you're drinking that much, where you're consuming that much alcohol to now there's a dependency. Your body needs it.
Yeah.
You don't come home and instantly that goes away. What does it look like? Because it's one thing to drink and you're around the guys every day. And it's what all of you guys are doing. It's fairly normal.
Yeah.
To now, you're living a civilian life and I have a wife.
Yep.
How bad did it get?
It got bad, where all you have is time. I didn't have to wake up at 4:30 in the morning to go run 6 miles. I didn't have to jump out of planes anymore. I didn't have to worry about deployment or anything else. So all I had was time to sit and think about stuff that I did. And it was those two things combined, it was like a real bad mix of the only way back then how I knew how to suppress memories was to drink, get blacked out, just get blacked out drunk and forget the day, forget the thoughts, forget memories. And I'd sit, drink from sunup. The moment I woke up I couldn't stand anymore. I'd pass out downstairs in the kitchen room, on the kitchen room floor, or wherever, outside. It got that bad. And you're right. It doesn't shut off. And you got a significant other and she don't know what's going on. All she knows is, man, he's drinking from the moment he wakes up. That was breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I didn't eat some days. It got that bad. It got real bad. And it was mainly just to suppress thoughts, suppressed emotion, to suppress it, not feel certain things. And a lot of it was I missed the guys. I didn't miss the Army. I didn't miss the bullshit that came along with that, all the games and the hurry up and waits and all the bullshit that comes along with just being in the military. It was more so my guys, and I know they were deployed. We would deploy every 6 months. So it was not hard to figure out the schedule. Like, oh shit, they should be deployed right now. You know, missing the guys, missing the camaraderie. So all I had was this, time to sit back and just drink and think.
I want to read to you some statistics, and I want to get your thoughts, okay? On average, in the United States, there's 17.6 veteran suicides. That's a day. Veterans are about 58% more likely to die by suicide than civilians. The suicide rate, it's up over 100,000 for both male and female. For males, it's up 37.8%, and for females, it's up 13.9%. The high risk groups, veterans between 18 to 34, those are the age ranges where, after they're released and put back into society, they're taking their own lives. And in the first year after leaving the military, the suicide rate is up 46.2%. Do any of those numbers surprise you?
Not at all. The first year I was out was like the first 2 years, and especially after contracting. Like, I had nothing. I had put in applications for different things, and before I sat down one day and said, I'm gonna be an entrepreneur, I'm gonna do my own thing, because that's all I had left. But I specifically remember after getting a brand new home, after contracting, he was making good money contracting and bought a house, trying to figure out how I'm gonna support my wife, this brand new home, and I had never had anything like that, I never dreamed of anything like that. And I was sitting on the back in my neighborhood before all the other houses were built. Before anything was really built, it was maybe 4 houses on our little neighborhood. And sitting back there with a bottle of Jack Daniels and a Glock pistol with 1 bullet in it, praying that something would help stop me from what I was about to do. And then I still got scars right now that I could easily show you of stuff that I tried to do to, I'm gonna say, not be here. Like, death was the easiest way out. So none of that surprises me at all. Death is I think, in my opinion, after having seen it, death is easy. Like, that's the easiest thing we can do as humans. I think that's easier than being born. There's a lot of complications that come along with being born. I think sometimes especially back then, the death is the easiest thing a human being could ever experience.
Again, I want to use this episode for good, Nick. On one hand, I want to speak to our audience that may have never experienced anything like what you're discussing. But there are veterans out there.
Oh, yeah.
There are men and women out there that we'll never know their name, we'll never know their face, but they can relate to every word that you're saying right now. But they're the voiceless.
Yeah, that's I'm not going to say I hate it. I don't know what I feel about it. I feel like for me in the position I have, the platform that I have, I don't know why it's me. I'm a nobody. You know what I mean? I'm a regular dude. I'm a regular dude. I'm a regular dude. I'm no better than no man. Why I have this platform, I don't know. You know, I wish we all had a platform or a place to speak and be heard. I wish we all did. I don't know why I've been dealt these cards. I'm not saying I wish I wasn't dealt them. That'd be wrong of me to even do. We're all here for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. But it is weird. It is weird. But I feel like, I don't know, if my voice resonates with the people who are struggling, like been there, and don't think because I have a platform, or I am where I am now, like I don't struggle. I struggle every day. But with social media and the internet, everything's curated. And we're all guilty. No one's gonna put up their worst day on the internet, you know? No one's gonna I don't have no issue doing it. I'm an open book. I'm an open book. You can read any of my books and figure that out. I struggle every day, whether it's from nightmares at nighttime to whatever it may be. But I struggle every day just like the next man. I'm no better, but I'm also the type of dude that believes that if somebody else could do something, that means I can do it. Like the days I wanted to quit being a Ranger or selection or whatever, I would look at the guys who did make it and like, well, he's a man too. How is he any different? There's no different. I can do the same thing. So if anybody sees me still here, like I'm far from special, far from it. And I've had a ton of encounters with death, flirted with it, played with it, kissed it. But I'm still here, and I'm planning on being here for a while too.
Nick, let's call it what it is. You had an alcohol addiction.
Yeah.
You were at one point an alcoholic.
Yeah. Well, we're all alcoholics. I don't think that title ever goes away.
No, it doesn't. Mm-hmm. No, it doesn't. It never goes away. Mm-hmm. You were suicidal. Mm-hmm. You sat in a car, loaded gun. Only God knows what happened in that car. But you're here. Mm-hmm. How did you get to this point? Because I look at you week over week, just like our audience looks at you. You're well-spoken. You're well-mannered. You're poised. If you didn't tell the stories that you tell, and we didn't know your history, you look as normal as anybody else out there. There's nothing that is in any way distinguishing about Nick Irving. You didn't lose any limbs. You don't have a scar across your face like Omar from The Wire or something. Yeah. There is nothing about me when I look at you that says, this dude been through it. Nothing. How did you get from that place to here? Did you go into rehab? Was there a level of treatment? Did you do any alternative medicines? Walk us through that.
Years of contemplating, years of thought. I tried the whole like AA thing and, I've done it all. Never took I went to the VA and none of the pills that they wanted to give me were anything that I wanted to take because I know what those pills do and I've seen people on them and they're not here today, and any medicine that is like, hey, may cause suicidal thoughts or whatever. Like, why would I take that? That's what I'm sucking. I'm trying to prevent right now. And a lot of these pills do that, or they're highly addictive. I already had like an addictive, habit. So why would I want to take an addictive pill that the VA gives me? And then to get off of that one, you got to take another pill. I didn't want my life to be dependent on going to the VA. I didn't like going there, but yeah, I did all that. But then I had tried alternative medicines, things that are not prescribed by the VA or any pharmaceutical rep or pharmaceutical company. They don't prescribe them. And I was put on by some Navy SEALs, you know, that helped me out and introduced me to a few things. And then prior to that, it was, you know, herbal essence, the natural herb. And that was like I'm not going to say it's not a gate, it wasn't a gateway, but that was like the first step for me into releasing a bunch. But it wasn't until I got into, and it's weird we bring it up because just recently Trump signed like an executive order for psychedelic medicine, psilocybin, ibogaine, things of that nature. Then I start dabbling in that.
So are you taking micro doses, or you know, how is it even prescribed? Where do you get it from?
It's not prescribed. I'll say my first encounter with it was after watching Mike Tyson on Jake Paul's podcast, and he took a handful of mushrooms and he ate it, and everyone was freaking out like, bro, that's and I'm like, well, shit, Mike Tyson, I knew somebody who had access to these types of medicines, obtained some in Mexico, and tried what I saw Mike Tyson do. Mike Tyson's like one of my guys anyway. I love Mike. I grew up on Mike Tyson. So I took way more than a micro dose, turned out to be a God dose.
Okay, stop there for a second. Mm-hmm. What does that even mean?
It means you take grams, like multiple grams, 3, 4, 5 grams of mushroom, and you don't need that much to trip.
Okay, is this your first time taking it?
First time. I've never even thought about psychedelics or mind-altering.
So literally the first time you ever tried this psychedelic medicine, you take the God dose.
The God dose. Just
okay, walk us through that.
Just ate the bag. And I'm a tough guy, you know. I've seen stuff. I thought I was gonna be seeing some pink elephants running around the room and I was gonna laugh at it. And that turned out to be, I was 100% wrong. And I'm not like encouraging nobody to do it unless you're like underneath direct supervision from a trained individual. But took that, and it was like I picked up a cell phone and I had a direct line to Jah himself, to God himself. I took it. First thing I remember was like my wife sitting next to me, and I have a lamp next to me on the other side. And out of this lamp came a scroll. And I'm like, oh, snap, this is trippy. And the scroll read, I couldn't read, it wasn't like in English, it was in a language like I never seen before. But I could read it, and it said the law. And it unrolled, and it was like basically like the 10 Commandments. And then I seen this light, another light come out of the lamp, and I felt the presence of the Most High God. And I took her and I was like, hey, bow your head. I said, I feel we have to bow our head. Something's in this room, and I think it's God. So I took her head, put it, and I'm bowing down. I'm like, oh snap, I shouldn't have done this. That's what I mainly felt like, was that I shouldn't have done this. This is not what I expected. And I was getting like messages and like direct messages of everything I was doing wrong, the person who I really was deep down inside, and all this weight that I was carrying. And this trip went on for hours. I would leave and come back, and I'd be like, man, it's such a blessing to be here. It's so good to be here, to be in this realm, in this reality, because I was in another place for, it felt like a long time, a real long time. If you want to call it heaven or whatever, but I was in the presence of something that I believe was God. And we went over my whole life. I went to hell, came back, walked with the Most High, showed me my life, and how to get to be with him. And like the importance of family, the importance of just, and how special that life was and this place was. It was a life-altering experience. Like, I didn't look at, I still don't look at this place, whatever this place is, Earth, reality, I don't look at it the same as before. I damn sure don't do that.
Can you give us a sense of what does it actually feel like to be in the presence of God? Like you are bowed at the feet of, let's call him God, of the Most High. Let's put it there.
The great architect.
What does that even feel like?
It was the great architect, the architect of all things, of reality. It felt terrifying. It felt really terrifying. The most scared I've ever been in my life, but also the most loved I've ever been in my life, like the most loved. I've never had that much love and intensity all at the same time, but also know that at any moment, my existence like didn't matter. He could be like, snap his fingers and I wouldn't even exist. The thought of me never would have existed. Everything wouldn't, it was all powerful, like unbelievably powerful, all knowing. I felt insignificant, but loved at the same time, terrified because of the power that he had. And it was like, in my vision, I had seen a chessboard with a bunch of other gods on it, if you want to call them that, like lower gods. And then the Most High God slapped his hand on it, because those gods was like, they was in our realm, and he slapped his hand on it and knocked them all down, scattered all the pieces. And he said, I'm the one. I control all this. And it was terrifying.
You mentioned that you went to hell.
Yeah.
Or what you refer to as hell.
Yeah.
Was that as terrifying as being in the presence of God?
That was more terrifying because it was the absence of God. That was more terrifying because in that place, it was just like a dark pit, abyss. And I could hear like serpents and bugs and stuff. It was mainly, it was weird. I was in this endless void of black darkness and there was nothing there. It was to be like in the absence of the Most High. I didn't feel love. I felt that I couldn't, like, even when I called out to him, or I couldn't get in contact with him. It was just being away from everything, from thought, from love, from feeling, from everything. It was just void of everything. That was more terrifying. Way more terrifying. And for me, like being in this other realm, it was like, I remember coming back and talking to my wife. I left that little trip. I had told my wife, I was like, hey, if all I do after this life is just sit at the feet of his throne and just say, praise, holy, whatever, I love you, whatever, it was for all eternity. I'd rather have that job in heaven, just to bow, if you want to call it that place, just to be in his presence and just worship him. I do that for all eternity. It was the best thing ever than being in this other place, and how important this intermediate place is called earth or reality or life. And it was like, you got one shot at this. Make it count.
Did you ever feel a need after you came down from this trip, after you visited what you feel to be hell, after bowing to the feet of the Most High himself, did you ever feel a need to take that God trip again?
It told me not to come back. It told me not to come back. It said, don't come back here. It's not your time yet. Don't come back here. And it was mad for me for doing it in the first place. And it may sound weird, but it was like, this is like the forbidden fruit type deal. I felt like that, like, oh, I fucked up. Don't do that no more. That's what it felt like. But all the lessons I got from it, like, altered my life in a completely different path, but it just said, don't come back here no more. I'm not mad at you. It's just you're not ready to be here yet. But just don't come back. But
I know
I'm hard-headed though.
Don't be hard-headed about that, Nick.
I know. Oh, yeah.
Nah, the Most High speak to you direct, you listen. You know, even as you're talking, I gotta believe that this, we can, if we're fortunate, we can pinpoint a certain time in our life that changed everything. You're heading down the road of sorrow, trauma, suicidal thoughts. Is this the moment that changed it all for you? By the time that you came back, can you say conclusively, I didn't look back. I saw life different. I felt different. And I use this word loosely, but I was healed, for lack of a better way to put it.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. Like, it definitely changed my life conclusively, 100%. But even when I was there, like, when I say it told me who I was, it told me who I was. And it said, you're gonna make a promise to me right now, and you're gonna say, I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna do this no more, I'm not gonna be like this no more. But it said, don't do that because you're just lying to me. He said, don't do that. He said, I know you. And I'm trying to plead with it, like, one, I'm done with this trip. I don't want to do this no more. But it's like, you're here now, and we talked. But it said, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect, but strive to be. But it 100% changed my life for the better. 100%. Do I still struggle with stuff? Yeah, and I always fall back on that medicine that I took. I 100% fall back on it. And it gives me like coping skills to cope with certain things, to cope with it and not fall back on certain things. Like, I couldn't imagine not being here for my family and just not being here in this place, no matter how like hard times get, how things get. It's all like an experience. That's how I see it now. It's an experience, and everything that's supposed to happen is going to happen regardless. We got no control over that. It's just how we're going to react to it. And those are the tests in life to help you advance, get better. Either you're going to let the test beat you, you're going to fail it, and you got to retake the test again, or you're going to pass the test and evolve. But there's always going to be a test. There's always tests. Just because you got through one thing, I didn't realize that about like my life looking back at it, was that everything that I did, all the hurt, all those things, it was all like a test to build up an individual or a character or a spirit, soul, whatever, to get you to a certain point in life. Because I know it's not done yet. I know there's going to be other hard times I'm going to have to go through. I just know that I'm not the type of person to like let a test beat me. It's just a test. None of this shit really matters anyways.
And what you're saying is 100% real. It is. But you're sitting here now with a very different mind than when you sat with a loaded gun, ready to end it all.
100%. 100%. I can't relate to that guy anymore, Like, it's two different people. Like, is that guy still there? Yeah, I talk about him with my wife all the time. I say he's in Pandora's box. I keep him I keep the old me basically like inside of a box. He's never gonna go away. Never gonna go away. I know how to bring him out. I know what can bring him out. And I know what substances do bring him out. So I try to stay away from certain things, because this guy that the old guy he's not suitable for like civilian life. He's not suitable for family life. He's a very mean, selfish, really no emotion type of guy, no remorse type of guy. He has remorse, but doesn't really care about it. Is a very selfish, ignorant son of a bitch. No morals, no morals, no morals. There's a lot of bad shit, a lot of bad stuff. So I keep that dude away. He's not suitable for civilian life at all.
On one hand, everything you're saying is completely true. Many of us have never been to, people get depressed. That's part of being human.
Mm-hmm.
People get sad, they're down, but they bounce back.
Mm-hmm.
They're not clinically depressed. They're not clinically in a place that life, the line between life and death, it doesn't exist anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And you called me the other night and said, yo, Prez, my friend, he took his life today.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can, look, who was that man? And how did he get to that place that he crossed that line?
So Atterbury was a guy I looked up to before I even became a sniper. He's one of the guys that I looked up to. A cool, smooth-looking dude. Had the long hair, had beards at certain times. We were allowed to grow beards and long hair, but he was one of these cool, like, chill, mellow dudes. And that's like what I envision all snipers were. And it pretty much like fit the description. Even when I got there, it's like mostly dudes who, if you didn't know them, you would think they were surfers. I was the only black guy there. Everybody else was, white dudes with long hair, and a lot of them liked to surf. They liked to hunt. They liked to fish. They liked to go camping. All this shit I never did. I do like fishing, but I haven't fished since my dad took me when I was a little kid. But all the other stuff, they were just real cool, chill dudes. You get off of work at like 2 o'clock, sometimes noon. Your whole job is just shooting. Learning how to climb buildings. You go to like different schools and stuff. It was a real chill environment. But he brought me into that sniper section, like the way I can't go over like how we conduct our selection for it, but he was one of the dudes that vouched for me. And at this board, you get, it's a board of veteran snipers who say yes or no. It could just be like the way you look. They didn't want you in the sniper section. But across the board, I got yays, and he was one of them. And he's like one of the first team leaders I had in sniper section. Trained me up with everything, how to be a special operations sniper. It ain't like the traditional way where you put on a ghillie suit and you go hide out in the woods for weeks on end or days on end. It wasn't like that. It's direct action. You're hopping rooftops, you're breaking into homes, picking locks, setting up hides, ladder. There's so much stuff that goes along with being a special operations direct action sniper. And he taught us all that. He went through all the cool schools. Like, he set the standard for that. Like, hey, we're gonna go train in, the desert, or we're gonna go train in the mountains. We're gonna go to, Alaska to train. We're gonna go all the Colorado, different places. He set that standard to build our skill set up. Real smooth, chill dude. And that's how it is with all my guys, who take their own life. You never expect it. You never expect it. They're always the ones that are the best guys, the ones that you can't tell. They smile all the time. They're always smiling. They're always happy. It's hard to piss them off. And I think that, I know, even looking at Castaneda, rest your soul, brother. He took his life not long ago either. And he was a team leader, one of my first team leader when I went into when I was an assaulter in the squads before I became a sniper. Castaneda took his life. Always smiling, the coolest dudes on the planet. Steinbach, rest your soul, brother. Not too long ago. There's a lot of dudes, I can name them off, who took their life, and they're always the coolest, most nicest dudes. The most chill dudes, but I also know, having deployed with these guys, what they've seen and what they've done. I've seen it. I was there with them. And I think over time, it's a pattern with alcohol and trauma. It's a pattern with alcohol and trauma. And those two don't mix. And I think over time, the older you get, more memories start coming back and coming out. It's like for me, when I got out of high school, I never dreamt about high school when I was in high school. I dreamt about high school when I was in the military. When I was in the military, I didn't really dream about, except for one mission, the first person I killed, I didn't dream about Army stuff. It was when I got out. It's like memories and time catches up. And I think over time, it's the accumulation. You know, a lot of these guys got 500, 600, 700, 10 deployments, 700 missions, 10 deployments. And that accumulation of all those things and all the things that we've seen, the camaraderie that was lost, that ain't there. Then you got a lot of people, family issues, financial issues, personal issues, culminated with alcohol and trauma. And it's one dumb decision, 1 second, one dumb decision, and all you had to do was wait, like to the next day. I know that. I know these guys. I talked to them. All you had to do was wait one more day. And I think that's been like my mentality. Even when I didn't realize it when I was in. I wanted to quit selection so much. It's Ranger School. Every day I woke up. Man, I'm done with this shit. Lost 35 pounds. I'm weak. I'm tired. I'm hungry. I'm quitting. But I'm going to say, I'm going to quit when I get to this finish line. Or I'm going to quit when I have to put my rucksack down. And when I get done, when I get there and I put my rucksack down, or I reach the finish line, or hit this objective or whatever, it's like, well, shit, that wasn't that bad. I'm good. I did that. I'm gonna quit tomorrow. And it always turned into, I'm gonna quit when I get there. But when I got there, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. And I kept doing that throughout my whole career, my entire career. You know what, I'm gonna quit. Fuck this, this hurts, this sucks. I'm thirsty, I'm hungry, I'm whatever. But I just kept setting the goal. I would extend the goalpost further and further. I'd hit the goal line or the goalpost, and I get there, it wasn't that bad. I'm still hurt, I'm still sucking, but I'm gonna quit the next finish line. I get there, the same thing, kept it going. I'll make it to tomorrow. I'm sucking right now, but I'm also tired. Let me get some sleep. Too tired to end it right now. We'll make it to tomorrow. Make it to the next day. Wake up, I got a little bit more pep in the step. The sun does feel good. The birds do sound good. Whatever it may be, I'm gonna stick around for a little bit. Still hurt. It's a never-ending battle.
When is the last time you spoke to your friend Atterbury?
Jeez, it had been, well, through another guy who I talked to 2 weeks. They had talked to him 2 weeks ago.
Literally spoke to him 2 weeks ago.
Not me personally, no. It was through someone else.
Okay, but through another, okay. Did your friend who spoke to him, did he give you any idea of the mindset he was in? Or did he say, nah, he's, knowing what he did, I could see that this was gonna be how it ended?
It's never been like that. Not just with him. Castaneda, I had talked to him through, at the time was Facebook, Messenger. And we had been talking. Even with Steinbach, we had talked on Messenger and text and all this. And then a week later, 2 weeks later, they aren't here. And you hear how they go out. I'm like, none of it makes sense because I've been around it. But then at the same time, it's like, in that moment, when you're talking to someone, there's no signs. There's never been a sign. There's been a few. No, there has been a few, but it's like, oh, he's having a rough moment right now. You're good, bro. Boom. Whatever you want to talk about, I'm here type deal. But it's like when it does happen, you never really expect it. Because while you're talking to them, they're laughing. Shit might suck for a little bit, but you get over it like we always do, and you drive on. And when it happens, it's just like, damn, why didn't the person call? Why didn't they reach out to not just me, anybody? Anybody. I don't understand. I don't understand why it is the way it is. I just think, my opinion, maybe I think that it's a culmination of just pain. And you let ego take control. And it's like, yeah, I'm in my vulnerable state right now. I'm really hurt right now. And ego takes over and you feel less of a man or whatever, female, woman. You feel less of that. Ego takes over and you don't want to present yourself in that vulnerable state. And ego's a hell of a thing. That's a part of the whole, like the psychedelics medicine. Like there's something you experience called ego death. And it's the most naked I ever felt in my life. Having no ego, having no self-identification, where you just are you. You're just a naked spirit, a naked soul. You have no identity. I was no longer Nick. I was no longer any of that. I was just in existence. So we all have an ego. Ego is personality. Ego is what makes you you. And I think that ego takes over a lot sometimes and won't allow you to do certain things, to reach out and ask for help. And that's what causes, coupled with all the pressure and pain that you feel in that moment, mixed with terrible substances, alcohol being one of them, one of the main culprits, they end up making a really terrible decision.
You said something earlier that I don't want to gloss over. I don't want it to get lost in the midst of so many other things that was said. But you said you just got to make it till tomorrow. That's it. You just got to make it to tomorrow. And even as I'm listening to you talk, these are some bad boys. They went over there and they made it home.
Yeah.
They made it to tomorrow. What is it about being back here, being back in the world that would prevent you from making it to tomorrow? Like, you've seen the worst, you've done the worst, you've experienced the worst, and you know life does go on. The sun will come up tomorrow.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you could do, that I can do, that we can do to just help somebody who might be in that vulnerable state, who's not showing it on the outside, make it to their tomorrow?
Yeah. You know, I think that a lot of us, like, you got, they call it post-traumatic stress disorder. It's not a disorder, it's just post-traumatic stress. And I think a lot of people have variations of it. It's not just veterans or whatever. But I think for us, it's lack of that. It's the lack of the traumatic stress that causes us and makes us feel a certain way and take the actions that we take. Because for so long, all these years out of your life, day in, sun up, sun down, you're in such a stressful environment, a high stress environment where milliseconds matter. Then you get here in the civilian world and it's not like that no more. The main thing you have to worry about is how I'm gonna, put food on the table, which is also a very stressful thing for some people. But I think it's the lack of that causes us to be what we are. And I don't think, not scientists, medicine really understands like what traumatic stress is, or how to, I think I know how to treat it, or what could be used to treat it. But I think that if this isn't just for like veterans, I think, you know, what we all could do to help someone make it to like that next day. And this may sound like soft as fuck. This may sound real soft, you know, but yeah, this is gonna sound soft. But yeah, I think it's just being more kind to people, being more kind, saying, hey, love you, bro. Shit ain't gay. Saying, hey, bro, whatever your way of saying that is. I think that will help out a lot more. I think we've become so disconnected from society because of phones and technology. You know, I think we've become more disconnected. We forgot that connection, that human-to-human connection. But I think that a lot of the times, that's really all it takes, is just hearing that. It's literally just hearing that, or a smile or something, you know? You ain't gotta walk around fucking hard all the time. You know what I mean? You ain't gotta walk around fucking disgruntled looking all the time. Sometimes it's having a softer appearance and smiling at someone when you pass by. You never know what that person may be going through when you shopping or something like that. That smile might save somebody's life. Calling somebody, you don't call often, but you consider them your friend. But you mainly talk to them just on social media, or you just like they fucking post. It's more to it than just liking a motherfucker's post. And that's calling them your friend. Call that motherfucker, call him. See how he's really doing. See how he's really feeling. There's nothing wrong with that. And it should be reciprocated. It should be the same on both ends. And even if it's not, doesn't fucking matter. Doesn't matter. But the fact that you did it could also help you if you're going through something. Just talking to people more, talking to your friends. Not just on Twitter, not just on liking shit on Instagram. Call them. We used to talk before there was all these text messages and shit. We used to call somebody, you know? It was different. I think we lost that. We lost that somehow. But a simple what's up, seeing how you're doing could change somebody's life, big time. Actually being their friend. That could help big time.
Yeah, I mean, I say it all the time. You never know what people are going through. You never know what the next person is going through. And doing something as simple as flashing a smile, being kind to somebody, that costs you nothing.
Costs you nothing.
Literally, it costs nothing. But it might be exactly what that person needs in that moment. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting that this is the remedy, for lack of a better word. This is what you suggest that we can all do.
Yeah. Yeah.
That can be the differentiator between somebody saying, you know what, this life is worth living. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to make it to tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So it's so interesting. I wasn't expecting that answer.
Because I've been there, man. I've been there. I've been on that receiving end. I've been there. I've been on that receiving end. When you think no one gives a fuck about you, regardless of all the stuff you've done, that don't matter. And then you get back because 10 times out of 10, no one even knew we were leaving. My parents would get a letter in the mail. My wife knew I was leaving because she dropped me off. Other than that, nobody knew when we was leaving or coming back. My last deployment, my wife had a hard time getting on base from the security guard, the regular Army security guard. He's like, there was a deployment. People are coming back on a deployment because for everybody else, they get the parade or they march or whatever. It's like a big event. For us, we would leave on a random day. The airfield was in our backyard. You take a private bus 2 minutes away to the backyard, hop on a C-17, you're in Iraq or Afghanistan. And you fly back, it's the same way. No one knows when you're coming back. My wife would know 8 hours before we landed. We'd stop in Germany and I'd call my wife, hey, I'm heading home. You got 8 hours. And then she would meet me at the airfield or on our compound. Nobody else knew. The rest of the Army didn't know. And then when you get back, it's not like you talk about it or nothing. No one knew. No one knew. And then I think for a lot of us, or a lot of people, you get back and I don't know, you might just feel a certain way about it. I don't think I really felt the way about like people not caring. I didn't really care that people cared. I knew what I did and I was, at the time I was proud of it. Not so much now. But that's, hindsight's always 20/20. But I think that the loneliness that you do feel for a lot of people when they get back, they feel like no one cares or whatever and the world doesn't see them. But when you are seen, and that may be through an acknowledgement, that flashing a smile, saying what's up, calling someone. That could be your mom or your dad too, while they're still here. Could be your siblings, while they're still here. Just doing that can change a person's life because you feel acknowledged, you feel seen when the rest of the world doesn't see you. And it makes you wanna, yes, I've been there. Been there.
I should have asked you this earlier, but I don't want to conclude this discussion without asking you. When you kneeled at the feet of the Most High, were you forgiven?
Yeah.
And since then, have you forgiven yourself?
Yeah, 100%. Like I was forgiven by him. He had it looked like a huge, not even a toilet bowl. It was just a dark abyss. And it was a bunch of bones in it and skulls in it. And it started swirling around in this swirl like a pool and went down and was forgotten. That's what it looked like when it showed me. It took all this stuff off me and like negative stuff and put it in this bowl of bones and skulls and like dead people and their faces and stuff. Faces that I remember, and it flushed it down this thing and it went away. And it had told me I had to forgive myself. That was like to be rid of all the whatever, the pain or whatnot. And I struggle with that. Like, having seen all that and been through that, I get back to this realm and it's like, it said it was gonna happen. But forgiving myself is like one of the hardest things, 100%. I struggle with it because I think that I'm not God. Of course not, no. But if I were, I just think that like, even though it said it did forgive me, I struggle with like, but why? I struggle with the why part. Like, why would you forgive these bad things? That's what because in my human mind, that's where I'm stupid. I don't understand that portion. Like, how could you forgive that? Because I did bad stuff. We all do. But in war, it and the whole purpose and reason behind it, and the people you killed, like, why would you forgive that? Or how could you? So I struggle with that, struggle with that.
I think you know the answer to your own question. And what I mean by that is you said that you felt love like you had never felt before. And that's what love does. Love forgives. We as humans have done some of the most inhumane things since the beginning of time.
Facts. Yeah.
But there's always somebody there, no matter how bad of a person you are, that loves you and can see beyond what you've done and just look into who you are. And I think whatever you experienced, that love, it supersedes the why. That is the why.
That is, yeah.
It's because of the love that you felt that he feels for us. And maybe you should stop searching and just take it for what it is, man.
You're right.
Love is a powerful emotion, brother.
Yeah, you're right.
And, and it goes long beyond the grave. It goes far beyond prison walls, and it goes far beyond anything that we have ever done.
Yeah.
People love, when you experience real love, it's just a powerful, powerful emotion, man.
You're right. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully you stop searching for that why, because as I listen to you, that is the why. You know, not to take a dark turn, but it's something that I have to bring up because, you know, it just happened and it hurts my heart like no other. Louisiana earlier this week, I think over the weekend.
Yep.
An ex-Army National Guard. I won't say his name because I don't know that he deserves that.
Right.
But he took the lives of 8 innocent children from 1 to 11, 7 of which was his. He shot his girlfriend in the head. She's expected to make it, and shot his ex-wife. I would just ask for anybody, who knows what this guy was dealing with? Who knows the trauma he was under? But for anybody out there, sometimes, man, just flashing that smile, just telling somebody it's going to be all right. I can't imagine what would make a man take the lives of all of his children.
Right.
I mean, what did you think when you heard that story?
I didn't even know he was National Guard.
Yeah. He served from 2013 to 2020.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know, if he saw something. I don't know if he was deployed. I don't know.
We don't wrestle with flesh and blood. We don't wrestle with that. Sometimes them demons just take control. I can't imagine being in that. No, fuck no. Even my guys, they had families. They never did nothing like that. Nothing like that. I don't know what would make sick, man. It's sick. But here's my thing. I don't know his background in the military. I don't know. But I think that our military should take more action when it comes to mental health. I really do. I think the military should take way more action. And from what it looks like on the outside, that they may be leaning more towards that. But I think that there should be way more of a looking into a study, way more. We should put more of that instead of that $1 trillion plus budget just straight for war fighters and killing machines. There should be a substantial portion that is invested into, if not more the same, into like mental health for our military servicemen and women. I don't think enough is invested into that at all. And what causes these soldiers to be the way that they are? I know why. We all know why, especially when you got wars going on and stuff like that. I think we've lost I forget how many we lost in Iraq and Afghanistan. It's like in the thousands, but there's hundreds of thousands who have committed suicide since 9/11 or 2001 till, today. It's in the hundreds of thousands that have taken their own lives. So obviously, I mean, you could train up a war fighter to be a really good war fighter, but what about, turning off that switch? They teach you how to turn it on, but there is no off switch until that career is over. And when your career is over, you're turning in equipment and you sign this paperwork and you're on your way home. You're a civilian now. That's how it was for me. There was no like classes on how to, or whatever, no training on, no, it was just like checking the box type shit. Then you leave. I was in the Army 1 minute, less than 24 hours later, I was in a U-Haul truck with 2 German Shepherds and my wife heading down to San Antonio, Texas from Columbus, Georgia. That was it. I was a civilian after that. No uniform. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, it sound like somebody who's coming home from being locked up, man.
Right?
Like there's no re-entry programs.
And that's why a lot of them end up going back, because that's the life that they know.
Correct.
Institutionalized. It's no different, no different. No different.
Well, Nick, one of my hopes, not my only, but one of my hopes is that a politician, someone in power, with making the decision to send our boys and our girls over there, that they have an opportunity to listen to every word that you've said during this conversation and put a real human face, voice, emotion to that decision.
Facts. Me too. Me too. Me too. If I would never, I ain't gonna say never about anything, but if I were in a position to be that deciding factor, or sending our young women and children, men, women, and children to war, man, I would, if I had that opportunity. I think we all know how I feel about that. I just don't see the point in it. Just like with this whole war in Iran, we've already lost troops, military personnel in this stupid war anyways. Like, that changes lives. It changes families, the whole structure of it. We don't know what they have to live with now and what they are gonna have to struggle with because they lost their son or daughter, brother, sister. We don't know. We don't know what they have to struggle with. This shit just goes further and deeper than the veteran, the guy who did serve overseas. It goes deeper than that. It can hurt. It hurts families too. I was in a unit with a 98% divorce rate. I was the lucky one, the blessed one. I don't believe in luck. I was the blessed one of the blessed. This shit really, 100%. All these pointless, endless wars that we were promised not to even get into in the first place. Like, what are we doing? I'm telling you, you're altering lives. And it's not for the great, for the good. It ain't like the commercials. It ain't like that. You'll travel the world, all right. I did too. And I went to third dimensional hell. That's how I saw the world when I traveled it in the military. They promise you all these things. I saw war. I saw hell. I saw death and destruction. And I'm still seeing it with my brothers now, coming back. We've been out for a minute. Most of these guys are like my age. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? That shit hurts, man. All scars aren't visible. And for a lot of the guys that I know, those scars are not visible to the average eye or to the regular eye. The scars are mental. The scars are spiritual. Scar for life. They're burn marks. They're trauma. It's all that. Scars that don't heal are hard to heal. And the ways to heal them, it's hard to access because the government classifies this medicine as whatever. So you got to go to a place where it is legal. And I'm talking something that grows naturally. It's a plant. It's a plant. It's a plant. I know guys on antidepressants who struggle with death every day. They are they've been fighting the war longer than they were in at home. It's the internal war. And they ain't the only ones. I'm not going to sit here and feel like I'm on a throne. I'm still at war. I'm at war every day too. It's just that the average person wouldn't realize it, wouldn't see it. Because we all got to wear a mask. That's all we doing. Everybody wears a mask. Everybody does. But yeah, the politicians, we got to put feet to fire as a nation, as a people, a caring nation. You got to. Otherwise, they'll keep sending boys and girls to go fight stupid wars for nothing. Let them come back home and you be like, how the fuck did this happen? Why did this happen? Why did this guy snap? Why is he involved in this mass shooting? Why is he doing this? You can flip on the news and scroll back, say it's all over. Why is this veteran snapping? Why is this happening? Why is this guy killing himself in the VA parking lot? Oh, because he can't get seen, he can't get help. There's a lot of stuff so we got to start fixing the system, putting feet to fire. War is a last resort.
I think it starts with education, which you are educating us all on right now, and it's empathy. So while somebody watching is cheering on, your favorite politician and saying, hey, we are the mighty US of A, and we have thousands of troops who are now in the Middle East, send them in. Listen to what Sergeant Irving just said. That war does not stop there. And here's the deal, Nick. We're talking about death. But what about some of your brothers and sisters that lived? Now they're home, blown up IEDs, missing limbs. Their mental is gone forever because they have head injuries. And that person that they thought they were coming home to is now either a 24-hour caregiver, if they stuck around, or said, this is not what I signed up for.
I know a lot of that.
And I can't do this.
Yep, I know a lot of that. Yeah. I said 98% divorce rate for a reason. That was just then. The guys who lost limbs, lost things, they struggle. Guys who have been shot in the head and survived, I know 2 of them. 3. I know 3. It's a struggle. It's an endless struggle. They got families, but it's a struggle. And it's like, damn, I knew your dad before all this. I knew your dad like this. And I look at myself the same way. Like the me before I joined. Like but before I joined, I look at that, I'm like, damn. Or I look at pictures and I'm like, 1, I'll never get back to that. 2, I wish I could have told that young me something different. But I don't know if that young me would have listened because he was stubborn, hard-headed. But like my mom told me yesterday, 2 days ago, she said, a hard head and make a soft ass. So yeah, I don't know how I would have responded back then, but having that knowledge maybe would have altered a few things. Definitely, if I was being honest with myself and told myself the truth and things I should stay away from, I think I would have listened to a few of those things or caught myself in the middle of it. But yeah, war changes you forever. Forever. You'll never be the same after that, ever. You'd be a fool to think you were.
Well, in there, I mean, there's no more powerful a line that you could say. War changes you forever. And here we are sitting in the war, and can't nobody say what we're actually there for. I haven't heard a conclusive reason yet on why we are at war or quote unquote conflict.
Right?
But Nick, I pray that these words travel far and they reach the right ears. I think that you have said so much today, as you always do. But like I said at the top of this conversation, I really wanted to show people the price, the true price of what's paid by sending our sons and daughters over there to fight. And I think it was mission accomplished, man. So thank you. As I always tell you, on behalf of myself, I love you. And I know that you are living your purpose, and everybody on this platform and beyond really respect and just love to hear your words, man. You're doing a lot of healing. Hopefully you're healing yourself in the process. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Love you too, brother.